Hello and welcome to Esri Australia's screen share video tutorial on how to add feature layers to an ArcGIS Online map and then style your feature layers as you wish. Now today we're going to be focusing on this add tool, and if we click on the drop down you'll notice that there are 5 options for us to add feature layers to our map. We're going to begin with the most simple, add map notes, and progress our way through the rest of these to the most complex, which is add layer from file. If we click on add map notes, you can name your new map notes a particular title, what you might be trying to show on your map. I'm going to go with hospitals today, and I'm going to click create, and it'll bring up this new tool, our edit tool, and it gives me the option to place points, lines or areas onto my map. Now, as a hospital is a specified location, I would want to be using a point feature. However, if I was wanting to map a race route, I might decide that line features are the best feature to do the job. If I wanted to map the area that a sports stadium covers, well then maybe I need to choose an area feature layer to do the job. I'm going to use point layers for today. Now I'm going to search some hospitals from Brisbane, the first one being the Princess Alexandra Hospital, and I don't want the one in Essex, England, I want the one in Queensland. And I can confirm, because I do live locally, that this is the one I'm after. And before I scroll out, I want to click on one of my point layers, and I'm going to place it right in the middle of the Princess Alexandra Hospital. I'm going to rename this particular one as appropriate. You can include a description if you wish. If you had an image of the hospital, you might wish to include that there. At the moment it appears as a stick pin, however I'm going to change that so it appears, so that the symbology matches what it's showing. I'm going to choose general infrastructure from the drop down. Now this gives you a range of different options where you get different symbol types, for instance arrows being arrows. However, I'm going to go to general infrastructure, and if I scroll down I notice that there's a hospital icon in 2 different colors for me. So I'm going to choose that. I can choose how big I want it to appear on the map, and you'll notice that as I click down this symbol gets smaller, as I click up it gets bigger, and I hit OK when I'm happy with the symbol size, and I hit close. And I can go back to my details pane and notice that my hospital layers is on, and if I scroll out it's got that on the map for me. Now I can add multiple here. Okay, so if I want to add more to it, all I need to do is click on the thing and hit edit again, click on the map layer and hit edit again, and I'm going to look up a second hospital in Brisbane. I'm going to Mater Private Hospital. I'm going to let it load. That's the one that I want, so I'm going to click there, and you'll notice that the information box is a little bit off, but that's alright. I can see the Mater Hospital on the map. Again, I'm going to click my stick pin, going to put it down, rename this particular point as appropriate, and I'm going to change my symbol to match the other hospital symbols that I'm using, and I want the size to be the same too. Hit OK and hit close, and you'll notice that I now have 2 map notes, or 1 map note, hospitals, but with multiple points on there. So I can click on them at any time and it gives me the name of that particular hospital in Brisbane. And I can go back and edit those at any time by simply clicking on the point, hitting edit, and making some changes as necessary. So that's the most simplest of the feature layers, of adding map notes and feature layers. And the next one that we're going to look at is the Browse Living Atlas layers. Now, Living Atlas, if we go to my new tab, is essentially a collection of geographic information from around the globe, including maps, apps, and data layers to support your work. Now, I guess the thing that makes the Living Atlas so valuable is that what's published on there has been published with Esri's approval. So you know that what you're getting and what might pop up is going to be somewhat reliable and accurate as well, rather than little Johnny Blue adding his own feature layer and making it accessible to the public. And I can search a range of things. The one that they're focusing on at the moment on the website is COVID-19, so let's type in COVID-19, and it gives me 47 layers to do with COVID-19, and I can click on the title of each one, and it gives me a little summary of what that feature layer is showing. So in this case, the current situation for the COVID-19 virus in the US updated hourly. And if I was interested in that, I would hit Add to Map. It might take a little moment to add it, and I'll cross out of that and go back to my details pane. And you can see that I've got both layers on now, my hospitals layer, but also my COVID-19 US cases layer. And as I scroll in, it gets a little bit more detailed. And the great thing again about ArcGIS Online is that it's interactive, so I can click on any one of these red circles and it will give me additional information. For example, 913 confirmed cases and 56 deaths attributed to COVID-19. And that is the Browse Living Atlas layers function. The third option we have for adding layers to our ArcGIS Online map is this Search for Layers function. It works very similar to the Browse Living Atlas layers function. However, this Search for Layers function has the capability to search for anything that has been made publicly available on ArcGIS Online. Now you'll notice that once you've clicked on it, the first thing that appears is this My Content tab, which means that if you searched right now, you would only be searching in the content that you have created and published on ArcGIS Online. So we need to change this by clicking on the drop-down menu and selecting ArcGIS Online. And you'll notice that there are tens of thousands of layers, and it's best when you are searching to keep your search terms general rather than specific. For instance, if I was looking for something like rainfall, I can type in world, maybe annual total rainfall, and we'll see what happens. And this comes up, see how it's not the exact wording, and that's fine. So the more general the terminology, the more layers that will appear for you. Now notice that there are only 27 layers in this particular search. I'm sure that if I shortened this to rainfall, there would be a lot more that appeared. And because this is a worldwide program and application, if you were to scroll and scroll and scroll, you might very well start to see layers that are in published in different languages from different regions around the world. Again, you can click on the title for more information. I'm going to add this one to the map and use this as an example. I'm going to turn off my hospitals and my COVID-19 cases layers, and I'm going to scroll right out so I can get a bit more of a clearer picture of what this map layer, this feature layer, is showing us. Again, I can go to my legend and I can check what these different colors mean, and by looking at the legend we can see that we're talking about precipitation in millimeters annually. The deeper the blue, the higher the rainfall, the redder, the lower the rainfall. So that's the third way that you can add layers to your ArcGIS Online map. Now if I go back to details, my content, I'm just going to turn that off for now. And we're going to look at the fourth way that we can add layers to our map, and that is to add layers from the web itself. As mentioned earlier, there are a number of websites that share and have data available for the public, and it's best sometimes to not recreate the wheel. So if you have found data that's usable, you can go to that website. For instance, I'm already on National Map, and I can add data, search for what I want. I found this one previously. Let's say I want to map Medicare offices in Australia. I can actually scroll down after clicking on it and notice that there is a CSV URL link, and I can control copy that, go back to my ArcGIS Online map, and you'll notice that CSV files are one of the files that are accepted. Other files include these here, and really what's important for you to know is not to necessarily understand what these web services or layers or files mean, but to be able to recognize that, oh, this is a CSV file, and ArcGIS Online accepts CSV files, so therefore it's usable. Likewise, you would need to recognize the same if it was an ArcGIS server web service. So you just need to make sure that the data that you're going to attempt to import into ArcGIS Online is one of these types. So I've got my CSV file copied, and I'm going to paste it in here. You'll notice that the Add Layer button now is clickable. I'm going to click that. It may take a moment to load, but it does load. And at the moment it's popped up with choose what attribute I want to show. And I'm just going to choose the show location only for now and click done. And now what we have on our map is every location of a Medicare office in Australia. And that is quite simply the fourth way to add layers from the web to your map. And as you can see here, so far we have 4 different layers using 4 of our different options, starting with map notes, then living atlas layers, then searching ArcGIS Online for layers, and lastly, adding a layer from a web or a website. Now the last one, add layer from file, I'm going to touch on in the next video. So if you are looking to add your own data from an Excel spreadsheet, please tune into that video. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you.